In July 2016, the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, appeared before the Senate to answer questions about the state of the economy. The minister seized this opportunity to break the silence, announcing that the country has technically slipped into recession.
The economy is actually in very, very good hands, and we're doing absolutely our best to get through this difficult period. And I explained how we're doing that. We're being extremely disciplined around our spending. We're investing in the essential infrastructure. I gave the metric. We have released 74 billion naira to works in 2 months, compared to 19 billion for the whole of last year. We are doing everything possible to avert and to manage the situation, which we didn't create, unfortunately. I'm not too worried about the IMF projection, and I'll tell you why. Because IMF's job, one of their functions, is global economic surveillance. They've equally issued a negative report on Britain as a result of Brexit. So I don't think we should panic every time IMF speak. I think we need to be confident around what we are doing and where we are going.
The National Bureau of Statistics reported that the economy contracted 1.5% in 2016 for the first time in nearly 25 years as a result of the slump in global oil prices. But the federal government insists there's been strong growth in other sectors. The state of the economy has been a major concern as the country battles infrastructural deficit, with the citizenry daily faced with high cost of living. The government hammers on economic diversification to encourage a look away from oil, which has been the main source of wealth for the country.
At a time that oil and gas is encountering challenges, mining as well as agriculture have become a major focus of our administration's diversification strategy. Mining is not new in this part of the country, neither is it new in many other parts as well. There was a time that mining generated roughly 5% of the GDP in Nigeria up to the early 70s. And now the fortunes have dwindled so much that we do not even generate 1% of the GDP. However, that's changing, and people who follow this closely, if you follow the National Bureau of Statistics record closely, you would also notice that even at a time of recession, the only 2 growth spots in our economic situation now remain mining and metals and agriculture.
Our way to secure a bright future is to commercialize research findings. This is the only way that the impact of research and innovation can be felt by the people, by Nigerians, as new or improved products, goods and services are made available in our markets for our people to buy. This will ensure that our research efforts are market-driven, thereby responding to the urgent needs of our development as a nation, resolute in the search for self-reliance, import reduction, and also to be export-driven.
Why are we spending $5 million a day importing rice? $5 million a day importing rice from Thailand and Vietnam. What is it they can do, we can't do? That's how we run this country bankrupt. Excessive, almost mindless importation. Toothpicks, pencils, erasers, rubber bands, handkerchiefs, envelopes, champagne, red wine, for God's sake, Now, what do we do with our time? We're almost 200 million people. This is the point. Take life to the village. That's what is happening here. That's what this young man, the governor, is doing. That's what the CBN is supporting. That's what we're driving.
At a forum, the Minister of Finance set out the 4 pillars of the economic plan to include the stimulation of the economy, reduce the cost of governance, increase spending on infrastructure, and funding of the budget deficit. Perhaps the road to the physical result of the government's economic plan is the launch of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan on 9th of April by President Muhammadu Buhari for a period of 3 years, covering 2017 to 2020. The recovery plan, the brainchild of the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, contains 60 critical initiatives expected to help get Nigeria out of recession and reposition it on the path of sustained growth. It also focused on 5 execution priorities, which are central to achieving the 7% growth projected by the end of the planned period. The Economic Recovery and Growth Plan brings together all the sectoral plans for agriculture and food security, energy and transport infrastructure, industrialization, and social investments together in a single document.